So I did a pesto company for my thesis. I actually struggled with coming up with an idea the entire summer once I knew I was in thesis. And then my roommates were really helpful. They're really creative people as well. So they actually, one of them makes pesto herself. Like she has a really good recipe she got from her grandmother. So she was willing to share that with me. And then I kind of took that idea and wanted to have like a very simplistic kind of pleasing looking company. So I kept like a earth tone color palette since everything is a natural. And I took it from there, started with the logo. I actually drew that out on an iPad and then put it into Illustrator and fixed it from there, and then kind of found some fonts that I liked. And then the illustration on all of it is, I'm so bad at what it's called. It's like topography or something, but it's like the mountain, like the height of mountains and stuff like that. Since it's based in New Hampshire, I kind of like wanted it to have that flair to it with the mountains. So I took that and then added it like in certain places and whatnot. So it all kind of tied together. And yeah, that's all I got. The photography was really fun. I had a great time doing that. We actually went to a family friend's kitchen that's really pretty, and we made it there, and I got to like video her doing it. From there out, I did an ad for that, and I think it all tied together pretty well, so I'm excited.
Awesome.
Nice.
If we don't have any questions from the audience, we can move on.
Are you just showing the back of the label there? Is that what that is?
I really struggled with having the label on there because I was gonna order them and then take pictures of them on the jar. So I like kind of spent like 3 days all day working a label on that. So it's just kind of showing the front of the label, and then like that depth is like the back of the label.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not the
that
prettiest.
that was a pretty creative way of showing the 3 dimensions of it. I thought that was
Right.
neat.
Yeah, I think you should have just said yes. I wanted everybody to see
On purpose.
Yeah.
Pam helped me out a lot. I sent her about like 6 emails in one day, and I was like, Pam, what do you like? And she told me to stick with that, and it worked out. So I was very pleased with that as well.
I have a question for anyone and everyone who wants to pick up on it. Being an art historian, I was wondering what influences you were looking at in your work, whether you're looking at previous artists or previous designers, or kind of what your research process was like. So for example, if you made a pesto bottle, did you go down the aisles of Hannaford and look at all the other sauce bottles? Or if you weren't looking back at the history, how do you kind of see yourself as participating in a visual, artistic, or design conversation that's happening today? So just curious about some of your thoughts on where you fit in sort of the history of art and the art that's happening right now.
Well, for the pesto, I kind of wanted, like, people used to jar stuff like in mason jars. So when I went to like the grocery store, everything was in plastic. So I figured that if I were to do like a reusable kind of company, that I could take that old like kind of ethic of putting stuff in glass and like reusing that instead of like wasting plastics. It's like an all natural company. And then for like the design aspect of it, I wanted it more of like a modern. I follow like a lot of like simplistic companies and like brand people that just brand things very simply. So I kind of just took like a modern aspect with like an older kind of feel.